What's going on, guys? Josh here. Today we're taking a look at these day in the life of a software developer videos. And while they're really nice to watch and they're fun to watch, I just don't think that they reflect the reality of the dev world. Yeah, there are some pretty cool jobs out there. There are some jobs that give you free food all day long and have sleeping rooms like Patrick's job. There are some pretty cool jobs out there, but I think you should see them as kind of like Instagram highlights of software development. Everyone's just posting the best part about their job or the best day of their job, and I think that they could kind of be almost like pandering to people's hopes and dreams of what it's like to get a software job. But why I'm making this video is because I just wanted to add some realism into it and talk about like what actually happens at work and what you don't see in these videos, and how some of these videos almost there's like more eating in the video than there is working, and how often you take breaks, and how that's like it seems really awesome that you can take lots of breaks and go hang out and do lots of stuff, but then you end up working a 13-hour day and no one notices that. Or when people go hang out with their coworkers after work, like that's not always the case. You don't always get along with your coworkers. You don't always like you might have a coworker that's got a pregnant wife and 2 kids at home, then he's got to go pick up one of the kids from school and take the other kid to soccer practice because his wife is sick or something. Like there's just a lot in here that I think just doesn't reflect the reality of it. So nothing against the people in this video, nothing against the channels or the companies in this video. I just wanted to kind of look at them and just tell you like what could actually happen. Like everyone just seems to kind of see these as like this happy-go-lucky videos. I'm trying to keep it wholesome. I'm not trying to make this a negative video. It's just that everything seems like these happy-go-lucky videos. And if you don't know who I am, I've worked startup jobs, remote jobs, office jobs. I've had many different kinds of jobs, and some of them had bits and pieces of these day in the life videos, but I think that these companies that you see these people working for are these really large kind of companies that do offer these things, but there are a whole lot more companies out there that go unnamed that a majority of us end up working at, and they don't have these kinds of perks and they don't have these kinds of things, and I just want to keep it real with you guys. That's how I do things. Again, nothing against anyone in these videos specifically, but I just want to look at them and analyze them with you and just tell you what would really happen. Like no one talks about deadlines. Everyone's just kind of like play it chill and just continue working on my ticket and just whatever. It just seems almost too chill. There are deadlines, there are budgets, there are moments when your boss is like, yo, the client that we have right now, he basically said he's gonna not give us this next project unless we get this current project done tonight. And I know that I'm calling you at home and it's 8:45 p.m. and you're having dinner with your family, but I'm gonna need this thing done tonight by 12 o'clock. And I'm gonna need you to come in tomorrow at 6:45 because we wanna do an early meeting to make sure everything's working before we get this up and going. Like stuff like that happens, or you have a deadline and you're up until 3 a.m. and then the next day you get let go because the project that you were working on ran out of money. That was me. That happened to me. Like no one ever, it just seems, it's just almost too chill. Like there's no rules and there's nothing like that. So I just want to take a look at them with you, and if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. But I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys. Like it's definitely great to go from working at Kohl's, stocking shelves, putting stuff on hangers and making $10 an hour to go to be a software engineer. Definitely great. But just don't think that when you get a software job, you don't have to do any work anymore. Don't think that, oh, I have the job, I can just play the company Xbox and make $100K a year. I don't actually have to do any work. Like I put in my work ahead of time. I passed the interview test, did the algorithms. I'm good. That's not how it goes. There's just... So 8:35 to 10. A lot of jobs you don't have team coffee time or team lunch break or team any of this. This doesn't really exist. You have a team stand up in the morning where you all hop on a call, or you all go stand up in a room for a second and talk about what you've been working on. But at least that's never happened. I've had like 5 different jobs. More food. So I really doubt that you'd be coding and eating because you're going to be eating and touching the food and wiping your face and then typing at the same time. I highly doubt that you're actually coding and eating. So 2 p.m. product meeting. So an hour and 10 minutes for a meeting. Another team meeting where you have team chai time. So you go from a meeting to another meeting. Again, no real work is being done here. Okay, 3:28. So we went to a team meeting to a puppy time meeting. Okay. So from 3:30 to 5:10. So assuming she's working through those entire moments there, and these numbers are accurate, we're just over 6 hours of work now, and it's 5:10, but she came in at 8, so she should have left at 4 o'clock. Not a lot of companies pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or even offer that. When I had a job, it was offered every other week, and then it was eliminated. I didn't have free food every single day that I went to the office, and I kind of think that's unrealistic to expect. I don't care how many puppies you have at work. After my 8 hours, I'm out. So here's something I kind of want to like point out. So right here we have 6:34, hang out with the team. So you came in at 8, it is now 6 o'clock. And it's really cool to think about that you might like have these super awesome coworkers that you want to go hang out with after work. But again, what about the guy that's got a pregnant wife and 2 kids at home that he's got to go pick up from school, or he's got to take to the game because his pregnant wife is sick and can't do it? Like it's really nice in your head to think about like, oh, I'm just gonna have all these awesome employees. We're gonna be best friends forever. We're gonna do everything together. We're gonna work together. We're gonna go do activities together. That's just not the reality of things. Most of the time, it's like, oh, 4 o'clock, some dude leaves. 4:30, some dude leaves because he came in at 8:30. 3:30, some dude leaves because he came in at 7:30. What happens if you don't get along with people on the team? Do you just force yourself to do that? Like, there's a lot of time spent alone, and then you just come to work and go home, and those are just realistic days. Okay, so it's 6:50 before she leaves. She came in at 8 o'clock, 8:04, I believe, and now it's 6:50. That's almost an 11-hour day. How much work got done in there? We don't really know, but that's an 11-hour day, which I think is an exceptionally long day. I do my 8 hours, and then I leave. I don't care how cool your campus is. I don't care how many puppies you have. I don't care how many breakfast, lunch, and dinners you're going to give me. I do my 8 hours and I leave because there's more to life than this. And a lot of people feel that way too, especially older people. But when you see these people in like Silicon Valley, it's just not 11 hours of your day. That's insane. You're supposed to have 8 hours work, 8 hours free time, 8 hours sleep. That's how it's broken up. I would highly say don't stay at your work 11 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's just insane. I get it. It looks super cool that there's all these like, free perks and this and that, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to downplay it. It's a cool job. But just keep in mind that there's a lot more to it than just eating food, petting puppies, drinking coffee all day long. I mean, as 11 hours, am I the only one that just like wants to go home and like play video games, or I just want to go home and like get some space from everybody because I see these people apparently 11 hours a day? Nothing against her or anything like this. It's just, you guys get it. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so a day in the life of a software engineering intern. When I was at all of my jobs, we didn't all go have lunch together. Sometimes we'd have lunch together, but not every day. Sometimes we go outside, we call our girlfriend or our mom and dad. So we go pay bills at lunch or something. We go to the bank. Like every single time, they're like, "Oh, team food meeting, more food meeting, always food meetings." If you think about it, they're feeding you breakfast, lunch, and dinner because they don't want you to leave. You have no reason to leave. They just, you could stay there for 13 hours and have all your needs provided for you, and then why would you ever have to not work? Okay, so here we have the part where he's playing Fortnite, and I worked at a startup that had a Wii that you could play if you want, but no one ever played it. And if you were the guy that was over there playing that, you should be working and making those investors money. Like, it was a nice idea, like, yeah, we have a Wii. Well, I never saw anyone ever sit down and play it. It had dust on it. So my job, when we had a refrigerator full of LaCroix, if you were to pull one of those, that was somebody else's. We had regular break rooms where you go and you put your name on your lunch bag, you put your name on anything you bring, or someone's going to take it. I think it's just community property. Pack your lunch in your little Ninja Turtle lunch sack and you bring it and you sign your name on it, and that way people don't mess with it. Or you tell the people that forget their food or like leave leftover food in the refrigerator to like go throw it away because you're stinking the refrigerator up. Like, where are those parts? Okay, so he worked from 2 to 3 to go get coffee. So get a drink for happy hour. It's, I don't know how much work happened in between getting coffee and getting another brewski for happy hour, but okay. This is actually pretty chill. He didn't even do that much work and he still left at 5, so good on you for not doing a 13-hour day. Interns don't just hang out with other interns. Interns should be going to talk to the other software engineers. Interns should be going to each department and learning what they're doing. Like, sometimes there's not a group of interns. Sometimes you're the only new guy and you don't have a group of other interns. You have to make your way into that clique. Sometimes it's a diverse age range and not everyone wants to head out to the escape room. People got responsibilities, they got kids, they got stuff, they got family to go take care of, they have life to go live, and so like this idea of just hanging out with your coworkers every night is kind of cool. It kind of reminds you of like college and stuff, but what happens if you don't like your coworkers? I'm sure we've all had people that we don't like to work with, and you just want to leave. All right, so here's something. So he's an intern. It's 9 o'clock. He finally gets home from his day, and he does some more studying. And you'll notice a reoccurring pattern in these videos where it's 9 o'clock, you're going to go home and study more. It's 9 o'clock, I'm going to go home, I'm going to play some video games. It's 9 o'clock, I'm going to go home, I'm going to turn on Game of Thrones and Netflix. And it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to sit in my bed and watch videos on my phone until I fall asleep. It's 9 o'clock, I'm going to get out my lube, whip it out, and beat my meat and go to sleep. Like, I don't know, like all these people are just studying, but apparently everyone's just all about code all day long. Like literally nothing else exists except for this job. Like maybe these people just have to go home and code there because they don't ever code at work because they're too busy eating food. I don't know. This is probably like the most accurate one that I've seen. Wake up. Gets to work at about 9. Meet with the interns, check in, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And he gets to work. Time to code. Codes for another 2 hours. Goes and gets some coffee. Codes some more. Go get a drink real quick. 3:05. 4 o'clock. He decides that he's done coding. He's gonna do some design. Use a little bit different part of your brain. Hey, it makes sense. But not the whole day doing something else. 5:20 p.m. This dude's out of here, just like it should be. Pick up basketball. Some dude's gonna play basketball before he heads out for the day. Perfect, right? This seems more realistic. Dude comes home. He doesn't even tell you what he's doing between 5 and 8. Probably because he's not doing that much. Dude picks up some dinner. Go get some food. 9 o'clock, coffee shop, editing. So dude's making YouTube videos in between, right? He's probably working on a side hustle, just like any of us would be doing because we have other interests. Dude's staying productive, but he's not just like code, right? Even in the video, he's doing design, which makes more sense. I'm not trying to roast any of these people, and while they're super awesome, please don't work 13-hour days. Please don't work 12-hour days because then you start to set the expectation for everyone that it's okay to work 12-hour days and that it's okay to work 13-hour days and that you should always go hang out with your coworkers after work and that there's nothing else more to life than this and that you should just eat, sleep, and breathe your job. And I just don't believe in that at all. I get that these jobs look super cool and these jobs do exist, but please understand that there's a lot more regular jobs out there where you just come into work at 9 and you go home at 5 and then in between you have some meetings and you do some code and you don't get free food all the time. Just remember that these are like Instagram highlights of jobs and they're just showing the best parts of their jobs and not every job is like this. And so when I watch this and I see people doing it for these reasons to think that every job is like this, it's not how it is. I worked at all kinds of jobs. I had a remote job, had an office job, had a startup job where we had all these cool things, bring your dogs to work, grab a beer if you wanted to, only on Fridays after 5, but it was still a lot of work in between where we were just sitting there a whole lot of time and we were just like, I don't know how to figure this out, and just like 6 hours of staring at Stack Overflow. Like you could just pull up Stack Overflow on my screen right now, put a camera behind me, and then do day in the life of a software engineer, and then boom, that would be it. Maybe bring up Slack and the part where you're just like memeing to your coworkers with Slack gifs for like 30 minutes. What about that part? Keep in mind that there's a more realistic approach to this and you still have to keep learning. You still have to keep doing. You still have to keep coding. You're not just going to get 6 figures and 3 meals a day and play Xbox. It's just not how it works. I don't want to like shatter any of your hopes and dreams and stuff. Yes, you can get a much better life, and shit, like lunch every other week is still awesome compared to making $10 an hour working retail at Kohl's, restocking clothes on the shelf, you know? Like, of course it's way better, but don't just go in there thinking that you don't have to do any work. That's all I'm trying to say. So I appreciate you guys. Just keep realistic expectation. Yeah, you can have fun at work and you can go hang out with your coworkers, but it's still real life. That's all. If you somehow enjoyed the video, if you vibe with what I'm saying, maybe hit subscribe, maybe hit thumbs up. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Wasn't trying to piss off anybody. I was trying to keep it real. When I watch this and they're like, dude, have you seen this? I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like not real. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.